Composition in art, approaches and principles. Composition is the term used to describe the arrangement of the visual elements in a painting or artwork. It is how the formal elements of art and design, line, shape, color, value, texture, and space, are organized. These formal elements are composed according to the principles of art and design: balance, contrast, emphasis, movement, pattern, rhythm, unity, and variety. A successful composition gives a work of art structure and conveys the intent of the artist. There are several approaches an artist can take when composing a work of art at the beginning stages. For example, an artist can create thumbnail sketches, use the rule of thirds, or establish an interesting point of view. Thumbnail sketches. Thumbnail sketches are used by artists to visualize the final painting and to work out an interesting composition. Thumbnail sketches should be proportional to the larger canvas and small enough to fit several on a single page. Thumbnail sketches are done quickly with a pen or pencil, exploring a range of compositional approaches to the subject. The rule of thirds. Using the rule of thirds, you divide your paper or canvas into thirds, vertically and horizontally. You will then place the key elements of your image either along these lines or at the junctions. In this way, you will achieve a more pleasing arrangement and more interesting and dynamic compositions. Point of view. A simple way of making a composition more interesting is to change your point of view. For example, you might paint a still life from an elevated or bird's eye point of view. A more extreme shift in point of view would be to paint a still life from above. The golden section. The golden section is a mathematical rule used since ancient times to establish pleasing proportions and harmonious compositions. The golden section is also referred to as the golden mean or golden ratio. The golden section has been used in classical architecture, in paintings, and in graphic design. Because it is also expressed in nature, for example in pine cones and nautilus shells, it is sometimes called divine proportion. Putting it as simply as we can, the golden ratio, also symbolized by the Greek letter pi, exists when a line is divided into two parts, and the longer part, A, divided by the smaller part, B, is equal to the sum of A plus B divided by A, which both equal 1.618. Here is a classic diagram of a rectangle divided using the golden section. The golden section is endlessly fascinating, and I encourage you to explore it further. However, if an artist is not mathematically inclined, how can they use the golden section in a composition? A simple way is to subdivide a canvas vertically and horizontally into 8 sections. Since the golden section is approximately equal to 5/8, you can then mark the junctions that are 5/8 of the way across in either direction and place your objects accordingly. The painting on the right was organized according to the golden section. In the next slide, I'll show you how. In this example, we see the previous painting divided into an 8x8 grid. If we follow the lines and count 5/8 of the way down, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have the matches lined up with that line. 5/8 of the way up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we have the feather lined up. And we work our way across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the cigar. And from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the paint tube. Shadows. Everything matters in a composition, including shadows. When setting up a still life arrangement, consider the direction of the light source and the resulting shadows. Shadows can be used to create a mood and a sense of mystery. More importantly, shadows can be an integral part of a composition, helping to fill in space and balance out the arrangement. And finally, we come to cropping. It is not always necessary to include all the objects in their entirety within a composition. Cropping allows us to zoom in and place more emphasis on specific objects. Cropping also allows us to explore alternatives to placing objects in the middle of the canvas, creating more interesting compositions as a result. In the examples on the right, painted by yours truly, the image atop is shown in its entirety. The image to the right is cropped to place more emphasis on the papaya in the center. And the image at the bottom is cropped even more in order to create what's called an all-over composition, in which the objects meet the edges of the painting on all four sides.